So the Incredible Hulk is already one of the most powerful beings within the Marvel Universe. So what would happen if you gave him even more power? And why would you do this? Well, apparently just why not? Why not give the almost infinite strength rage monster the power cosmic that can almost do anything if the user puts his mind to it? But this is AJ here at the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So first and foremost, this is a what if story, which it seems like Marvel is releasing a new what if line, simply focusing on what if different characters instead of the Silver Surfer became Galactus' Herald. And this time we see it from the perspective of the Hulk, Bruce Banner, in which on a different planet halfway across the galaxy, Bruce is currently in a form very similar to the Silver Surfer. So he still has his normal Hulk transformation, but while he is in his human form, he's still every bit the normal Silver Surfer appearance and presumably power cosmic as the usual Norrin Rad is. But of course he isn't completely bald, he has a pretty wonky and stupid looking haircut, but that's about the only difference. Either way, as he arrives at this planet, he comes in yelling for everyone to evacuate. Galactus is arriving soon, and their entire planet will become his next meal. But as he arrives, everybody doesn't seem too concerned. Literally, knowing a giant cosmic eldritch entity is coming to devour their entire planet whole, everybody here is just acting like it's another Tuesday for them. And we see exactly why. Because as one of the main guys comes up, he tells Bruce Banner that yes, they understand perfectly well what is going on, and they even know who Bruce Banner is, seeing how they already received his message some time ago. But as it turns out, this people in their society are very barbaric and very war hungry. As the guy goes on to further say, we have built no such colony ships to leave the planet. For the people here, do not flee from any battle in any form. With the Silver Surfer just immediately thinking, geez, these guys are idiots. Especially more so as that same guy goes on to yell, kill the Herald, as very high-tech and advanced weaponry springs up, getting ready to shoot Bruce Banner in the back. And even though he just got shot at and they are initially the aggressors, he is still pretty calm, still wanting them to survive this whole encounter with Galactus. He says, look, maybe there's still time, maybe I can just help you if you just, but he isn't able to even finish his sentence as about 10 more of those high-tech weaponry come up and shoot him again. And this time, he essentially loses all hope. These people are pretty stuck in their ways for violence, and if it's a battle they want, it's a battle they're going to get. Because right now, he decides to stop suppressing the anger, going on to say, fine, you're choosing death anyway, it might as well come from him. As he starts to transform and Hulk out. And it's so interesting because the Hulk transformation is like underneath the silver metal part of his skin, literally cracking and breaking through where you can see the Hulk's gamma green skin, which is just kind of weird and I don't know what to make of it, as is that supposed to represent the power cosmic over the Hulk or maybe his skin? Because to my knowledge, I believe Norrin Rad, the Silver Surfer, his silver skin, if you will, doesn't really crack and peel. It's his body, it's, over him. But here it's not the case with Hulk. But regardless of any of that though, the Hulk himself gets ready to demolish his planet because they're essentially going to die anyway from Galactus when he consumes the planet for energy, so might as well let the Hulk out and go to rampage, since they technically did attack him first and he is really only defending himself. And still, with this crazy concept, it just leaves one question. How do we even get to this point in the first place? So we see exactly that, moving back years before on Earth. We see Bruce Banner, currently alone in the middle of a giant hole, which seems to be directly after a little bit of a Hulk rampage. We see him talking directly to Galactus after he has arrived on Earth, with him going on to say, Galactus, I have heard of you, the Devourer of Worlds. You had a silver guy, right? A herald who went around searching for planets for you to consume. And yes, I know you have been to Earth before, but Reed Richards scared you off. So not only why are you back on Earth, but why have you come for me specifically? And here Galactus himself goes on to tell Bruce Banner essentially that he needs a new herald, one that he suspects won't fail like previously others have before. And the reason why he came to Bruce Banner specifically is because Hulk is very powerful and yet his potential is wasted. Something that Galactus and under his control can put the Hulk's anger and power to good use. Which might sound like an enticing deal and all, but even Bruce Banner himself doesn't want this. As he goes on to say, he doesn't want the Hulk being used for a good or bad purpose, nothing at all. He just wants it all to be over. But Galactus gives him a little bit of an opportunity. As he says, the Hulk under his control will only be sent to worlds that he is set to consume, causing no additional harm to anyone or anything. Additionally, this planet, Earth, would be spared from Galactus' wrath forever. And with Bruce having enough of the Hulk's rampages and dealing with everything of that sort of nature on Earth, he eventually does accept, taking Galactus' power, his purpose, this new gift to be his herald, and in the process saving Earth of Galactus, which has its benefits of his own. But keep in mind, we are only seeing this from Bruce Banner's perspective, and as we will find out a very crucial piece of information later, things aren't as they seem and don't really go down how it's portrayed as it is right here. And now with that out of the way, explaining how we even got to this situation in the first place, we cut back over to the planet from the beginning, completely and utterly destroyed destroyed after this now superpowered Hulk went on his rampage. And just knowing how powerful Hulk is normally and what type of damage he can do with his rampages, imagine a cosmic powered up Hulk rampaging across an entire planet. Definitely something no one wants to be on the other end of. But regardless, eventually Galactus does show up. And as it turns out, those colony ships that he told them they should build from the beginning were even his own design, meaning above all else, he wanted these people to escape, be free, live another day. But these violent and battle hungry people didn't want that for themselves and eventually led up to where they are now. But Galactus really doesn't care either way, because these evacuation projects are simply just Bruce Banner's hobby, and they are of no concern to Galactus. So yeah, Galactus is of course fine with consuming planets full of the life and billions of other sentient beings, as long as he can get his little cosmic powered up lunch for the day. And so at the very least, Bruce Banner tries to save lives, but he can't save people who don't want to be saved. And so with that, he leaves and essentially goes to his next mission, to go to another planet to try and evacuate them for Galactus's arrival. All while we start to see Galactus consume and obliterate that planet. And once more, going halfway across the galaxy to a new planet, he goes to this one and finds out they actually listened. They actually took his plans and designs and created a giant colony ship, which is just an interesting distinction between Bruce Banner as this Herald of Galactus and the Silver Surfer being Galactus's Herald. Bruce Banner puts his super intelligence to use, sending actually high-tech plans to build ships to get people off worlds to aid them faster. Not just the Silver Surfer going in advance to the planets and just telling them Galactus is coming in to escape however you can. But while he is here and seeing everybody escape, we then see something very interesting as another voice speaks out, telling this new Herald of Galactus, that this colony ship can only accommodate a fraction of the planet's population, right? And who said this? Well, none other than Iron Man with the small little group of Avengers here, him, Captain Marvel, and the Vision. Because at this point, it's been a couple years since Galactus came and essentially scooped Bruce Banner up, attempting to use the Hulk and him as their new Herald to go world to world, and of course do what Galactus does, devouring planets and places. But even now, after being a couple years apart, Bruce Banner isn't the most thrilled to see the Avengers. Because in most continuities and a lot of different storylines, Bruce always has a strained and resentful relationship with the Hulk, and in turn the other heroes of Earth, the Avengers and such, who have to step in and stop the Hulk whenever he goes on one of his rampages. But as we find out, the reason why the Avengers are here now on this distant planet is because there is currently a Kree and Skrull war going on, and this is one of the worlds that has a crucial outpost on them, with Tony even going on to tell Bruce Banner now that if you were actually trying to use that head of yours, you would help us stop Galactus and we could save all the lives here, including all the Kree, instead of just a handful on your colony ships. But Bruce Banner goes to essentially see past this, with him paraphrasing and saying, why are the Earth's mightiest heroes suddenly and finally concerned with what Galactus is doing on any other planet besides Earth? And of course, with this little Avengers team here now, just because of the war going on, Bruce Banner claims that the Avengers aren't here to save lives. No, they're only worried about their assets in this war. And now with Iron Man taking a time to snap at Bruce, he says, you're way up high on that horse, considering you're basically the errand boy for the universe's most successful walking and talking genocide machine. Which at this point, both sides disrespecting the other, it can only really lead to one type of outcome. A battle, especially when you're talking about the Hulk. As just then, Bruce grabs Iron Man's arm and starts to transform into the Hulk, once again cracking through the little silver shell and showing the strong gamma green skin of the, iconic Hulk, as he tosses Iron Man aside and through a building. But it seems Iron Man has prepared for this potential outcome, Always when you're going to confront the Hulk, there's no telling what he can do or the power he could unleash. So with him telling Captain Marvel and Vision to just buy him 60 seconds, he has something planning. And 60 seconds is all he needs to get it off the ground. But again, 60 seconds is a very long time against someone on the Hulk's level. Now more than ever with him and the Power Cosmic working together in tandem. And the reason why I even bring that up once more, the Hulk having access to the Power Cosmic, is because him fighting Captain Marvel is simply just a very bad matchup. Because what is Captain Marvel powered by? Cosmic energy, the one thing that now the Incredible Hulk has now access to and can manipulate, as he reaches out and literally drains her powers from her, seemingly permanently, possibly even her life force too, if what he does next to Vision is any indicator of Hulk's level and care that he has for these Avengers. Because as soon as he turns around to now attack Vision, Vision is smart enough to immediately phase, as no way he can just tank a attack from this powered up Hulk. But unfortunately now the Hulk now has access to many abilities that he never would have before, as now with his hand phased through Vision's stomach, he activates the cosmic energy he took from Captain Marvel, blowing up Vision from the inside out, seemingly destroying and quote-unquote killing him. Maybe not actually killing like you would a normal human or living being, because Vision is an android, He can probably just get a new body and a new consciousness, but still, Hulk isn't pulling any punches here. And he took those two down really quickly without any effort. Fortunately for the Avengers though, they did exactly what they needed to, bought Tony Stark some time, as he comes back exactly 60 seconds later wearing an alternate design Hulkbuster suit. Now you might say, well, Tony's Buster suits, you know, the Hulkbuster, Thor Buster, Celestial Buster, doesn't really have a whole good track record of defeating the things they were trying to bust. And here possibly may be no different, but at the same time it will, because as we will soon find out, Tony has put in some pretty wicked upgrades to this new suit. Because as soon as Hulk goes to fire some of his cosmic energy beams at Iron Man just tanks it head on, saying, yeah, no. The old Hulkbuster has been upgraded, incorporating technology confiscated from Dr. Doom himself, basically called a cosmic harness. So he has taken the Hulk's main power source, his power cosmic, and essentially supercharged himself with it, putting Tony in this Hulkbuster suit and the Incredible Hulk in the same tier now. But still, before Hulk had anything to do with the power cosmic Galactus, he was still a very powerful and strongest being on his own right. Some would even say he's the strongest there is. As Hulk seeing this, he doesn't get discouraged or back down. No, he hasn't had a good fight in a very long time. So for him, this is a happy and joyous moment, as he literally says good before they go and charge at each other, charging it as they connect fists, causing a ginormous explosion. You know, in this blast, there's no way there's zero casualties with everybody gathered around trying to escape here. Some people definitely met their demise and doom from this little bit of an ego clash with Tony and Bruce. But as the battle continues and each of them getting their own hits in, eventually Tony's power just runs out. If this was any other weaker opponent, this battle would have been over. But unfortunately, this is the new Herald of Galactus Hulk, meaning he has the endurance and power to last for days, as eventually he not only beats down on Tony but gets the upper hand on him, and in a bit of rage and foolish thinking, he throws Tony at the colony ship the people here, the Kree, were using to escape, causing it to crash down, and again, more lives potentially being lost and destroyed, but this time by the Hulk's own actions. But of course, he goes to immediately turn it back on Stark, telling him that this is his fault. He destroyed the colony ship, the people on this planet's only means of escape. He has essentially doomed these people to die. But here we see Tony Stark have a little bit of a epiphany, a shift in what he thinks about Hulk as his new Herald of Galactus. As seeing the Hulk so adamant about these people's safety, he goes on to say, you really do care about them, don't you? These people here, the lives he is trying to save from Galactus by evacuating. And of course the Hulk is in a fit of rage, maybe even willing to permanently kill Stark right here and now. Stark doesn't put up any more of a fight. He even agrees with Hulk, telling him, yeah, maybe you should, maybe it's time, because of their past actions and putting Hulk essentially where he is right now, in this situation of being Galactus' herald. And of course, with Hulk being confused and doesn't know what he's talking about, everything is laid clear for us here. Because as it turns out, and in Tony's own words, the Avengers and heroes of Earth knew that Galactus took the Hulk. Because one day when Galactus did return to Earth, this time they had no way of stopping him. But he gave them an opportunity and ultimatum. Galactus said that he would spare the humans, spare Earth, if they let Galactus take Earth's most powerful warrior to serve as his herald. So Tony and the rest of the Avengers, and presumably the rest of the superhero community, offered Bruce Banner, offered the Hulk up, and frankly they were relieved, basically killing two birds with one stone. They got Galactus off of their backs permanently, and Hulk at the same time, who from time to time has been more of a nuisance and destructive force than an actual hero in being for good. Tony even going on to continue say, they thought maybe Galactus was the one being in all of existence who could finally contain, who could finally master the Hulk, which of course just enrages Hulk, saying it to his face that he needs someone to master over him. He can't be trusted alone and with his powers to be, so he needs someone to contain him. But before the Hulk can do anything more and rage out, he hears something behind him. A voice call out, someone needing help from all the chaos and destruction raining down from the colony ship in their battle. And to make matters worse, it seems like it is a little girl trapped under some rubble. So Hulk is a little torn between finishing the battle with Tony and going over to help the civilians. But that not only change Hulk's mind, but alter his trajectory as this Herald of Galactus. All it takes is a few simple words from Tony, as he goes on to say, Hulk, we were wrong. I can see it now, and I'm sorry that I didn't see it before. You're not a problem to be mitigated, and you don't have to be Galactus' monster. You don't have to accept all of the deaths of all these people. You have a choice. And Hulk does exactly that. He is given a choice. Yes, he could continue to beat on Tony and wind up killing him, or he could go to try to rectify all of his actions, try to save anyone he can, and ultimately stop Galactus from devouring and causing genocide on billions of lives. Because as he jumps off and actually goes to save the little girl, he deforms back to powered Bruce Banner. But even though he is not as angry as he was before in his Hulk form, he now instead has doubts about what he can even do to Galactus, calling him inevitable, how he couldn't save any of the previous people in different planets. He couldn't save any of them, and it's all that he ever wanted to do. Help and save people. But it is up to Tony in a twist of fate. Tony's wise words is what actually sets the Hulk on a different path. As he goes on to say, Galactus isn't inevitable. That's just what he wants you to think. Because there's only one thing. one thing that is truly inevitable, and that is that the Hulk has no master. And this is all that is needed to be said for the anger to rise up within Bruce Banner once more. And you know, once he gets angry, someone else comes out to dish out the pain, as we see him start to transform, with the Hulk coming back out, and this time his anger is directed at Galactus himself, with him saying, "I am angry," and someone tell Galactus, "The Hulk is coming," with the Hulk flying off planet to now confront Galactus in a giant showdown that could potentially change the fate of the universe. But that is something we don't get to see here, unfortunately, as this is a what if, and this what if does come to a close, as does this video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, or subscribe if you're new and want to see more content just like this. As always, this was the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.